So yesterday we had to conduct an interview with Yo Hernandez, the main sparring partner for Canelo Alvarez, coming up for this fight this Saturday. He had a lot to say, a lot of insight inside the camp. Don't know if he was able to see. Were you able to check out the interview?
Yeah, I saw it.
Um, Tell me, what was your initial reaction to just some of the things that he said in the interview and what was going on in camp per
Let me
se?
call you back.
Smash
Okay.
that like button, ladies and gentlemen. And if you guys haven't seen that interview, make sure you guys go out your way and check it out.
What you saying? What was the question?
Your initial reaction to the inside of the Canelo camp and what really went down and what through Hernandez's eyes.
What part? What you asking me?
I mean, all right, so let's break it down. Let's start with how Canelo Alvarez looked from the first time he's worked with him. I think it was 4 camps ago till now. He said that he was throwing a lot more combinations. He never seen Canelo as focused as he is now. I mean, talk to me. What's your reaction to just those comments?
I think first of all, I think that's props to who Terrence Crawford is and what he brings to the table and how serious he taking him. But I do agree with Canelo with what he said about they wouldn't give him Crawford. He wouldn't give him um Damn, what's the word I'm looking for? They wouldn't give him credit. They wouldn't give him credit for beating a small Terrence Crawford or whatever. So I understand where he was coming from with saying that. But so he was like, why? So, but the fact is, he's taking it seriously. He's seeing what people saying. I'm sure he went back and he watched Terrence Crawford and he see, how great of an athlete he is, and he see how strong he is. With some outside stuff. Because like I said, I do that too. I watch what people do on the outside too, because it tells you a lot about their character and who they are. So it says a lot about Terrence Crawford, Canelo being the most focused out of everybody else in 4 training camps, and Canelo getting better. I think it says a lot about Terrence Crawford, but also I think it says a lot about Canelo and how he's still able to lock in even more at this high level at this older age. So props to both of them, really. Props to Canelo.
Right, because that was one of the things he did say that he noticed was even being at this stage and having all
Right.
these belts,
Yeah, yeah,
you
that's
got to
crazy.
make
Yeah.
sure that you don't let nobody take what you got.
Yes,
Yeah, you're
sir.
right.
Yeah,
So
you gotta be
that was
hungry.
one
You
of the
gotta be
big things
hungry.
that you caught on.
Yeah, you got to be hungry. You got to be hungry at all times. I think that's what happens to some fighters. Like, this ain't being funny to us. Like, for example, with old boy, how big he got. The other sparring partner, how big he got. I don't think that's not something that a fighter would. It's not something a fighter would naturally do, especially
Ennis.
not him. Yeah, especially not with him saying that he worked there. They say he live in the gym. He work. You wouldn't even get that fat. It's like it's just not. It's something natural. You just like something that people that fighters naturally do, like a Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford has always looked pretty much fit his whole career. You know what I'm saying? I think he been fighting somewhere '09, '08, something like that. He been fighting for a long time. So he been pretty much fit his whole career. So I think stuff like that is what it is. And Canelo, same thing with Canelo. He been pretty much fit his whole career. Like you remember when we saw the Tank had a lot back in. Remember we saw the pictures of Tank when Tank used to be fat and get bloated sometimes. Look at Adrian Broner. It's just not a bad combination. And if you look at the history tends to repeat itself, and some fighters still get caught up in it, even though they already seen it happen to fighters over and over and over again. Just like with Adrian Broner, he probably got in there, had his little, drinking parties and all this and everything. He just was never able to reel it back in to the extent that he needed to reel it back in. You know what I'm saying? To get where he needed to get. Canelo, he never got too far out of pocket. Terrence Crawford never got too out of pocket. So again, I think it's shows great respect and tremendous marvel for Canelo and Crawford.
I asked Hernandez who hits harder, and out of all the guys you've been in the ring with, um, he mentioned Jaron Boots Ennis at number one, Canelo Alvarez at number two, saying Canelo Alvarez definitely punches a lot, really hard, but when he fought Ennis, it was the first time he fought in America. He was a lot thinner at the time. What's your thoughts on just saying that he Ennis punches harder? He believes.
I think when you look at it this way, like you had Kyron Davis on here the other day talking about he think Canelo hit hard or whatever the case may be. Now, again, all of that is subjective to your beliefs. You know what I'm saying? You know what you feel. It could have been where he hit him at. It could have been how he hit him. But here's the big kicker. Here's the big kicker. You remember how you do something that very first time, how you felt? So he fought here the first time when he was here the first time and he sparred Boots the first time. It probably was about how he felt then. You feel what I'm saying? How Boots made him feel. You know what I'm saying? And he's never felt that feeling before again. But what that also did was it got him used to that feeling. It got him used to that level of work. You know what I'm saying? And it got him used to that. Then he got a little bigger. He got a little older. He got a little tougher. So it's a lot to that. But I'm sure it goes back to like you hear fighters like Jaron said the other day about the hardest punch he ever been in the ring with. We don't even know. Remember he just said that?
Yeah.
So the hardest puncher Chiron ever been in the ring, we don't even know. So what that is probably was the experience. Is what the hardest puncher that I ever been hit with was. It don't even matter. It was Brian Norman Jr. But outside of that, it was another guy that the world don't know. I've been in there with some guys, but the world don't know the hardest puncher I ever fought. The world don't even know him. He's nobody to the world because it's about that. Woo! It's that first heat. It's like when you get in the shower and it's hot at first, and then once you can get in there at the same temperature, but now you can take it more. Gotta be mental about it. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
gotta know. You gotta be mental about it. So I mean, it could be different things. Like I said, it's chances are it's the feeling that he felt, and he never forgot that feeling. That's probably what that is. That's just my opinion. I'm not Hernandez, so I don't know. I don't. Maybe he do just hit hard. I don't know. But for me, I've seen what I've seen. We've seen what Canelo done. We've seen the damage he's been able to do, and we've seen the other guy we seen the damage he was able to do. He went, 24 rounds with Karen. He went with Albanesian. And he didn't knock him out. He didn't knock Stanionis out. Yes, he stopped him, but he didn't knock him out. He didn't have nobody wobbly or woozy. He just beat him up. That's what we saw. That's just a known fact.
And then also, he mentioned, I asked the question, who got, you know, who got more out of the sparring when it comes down to leading up to their prospective fights coming up. Um, he said that Canelo got, the best out of the sparring because he was able to keep him out of long range. But what he got to see was Canelo was able to cut the distance coming in and coming out whenever he kind of felt like it. And at one point in time, he said that, Boots looked like he was a little uncomfortable when Canelo was applying some pressure and throwing some hard bombs. I mean, what did you get when you heard that? Did you understand exactly what Hernandez was speaking about?
Yeah, I understand exactly what he's saying. What he's saying about Canelo getting the most out of it is the Canelo is the one with the fight. Boots was probably trying his best to keep him out. Canelo was able to slip it, get inside, like you said, rather easily or do whatever he had to do. And I think that's probably more of a confidence booster to him with people comparing Boots to Terrence Crawford, which they don't fight nothing alike. But with them making those comparisons, you feel what I'm saying? I believe that's probably, it probably was a good feel for him and he felt good about it. And when he get like you said to the body, and he said he couldn't handle some of what Canelo was doing. Said Boots couldn't handle some of what Canelo was doing, right?
Right.
So so it probably gave him a better vision of what he could of what to look for in the Crawford fight. You know what I'm saying? To hurt a guy that's supposed to be unhurtable, unstoppable. Because Boots, so they say, is unhurtable, unstoppable, or whatever else. But then you got him saying that he couldn't take some of what he was given, and he went home early. So I mean, with that being said, what can you say? I mean, I can see him saying he got the best out of it. Now, I'm the one. I can see how this could be because I thought it would be good for Boo's career, but at the same time, hearing hindsight 2020, you got to hear the whole story. So hearing the whole story, you got to think about it this way. I'm one of the ones that said that he needed to get out of Philly. He stayed in Philly. He admitted that he never comes out of Philly. He admitted that he only been. This is the second time ever been out of Philly. I think everybody would agree you need to leave your hometown. You need to leave your home. You need to get out of your comfort zone. You need. I mean, any coach I know, not the fans, because the fans don't know shit. Any coach in boxing would tell you, you don't. That's why people go to Big Bear. They lock in. They go to Colorado. They lock in. They go to what I'm saying, Vegas. They lock in. They go to different places to secluded areas and then lock in, get from around your family, friends, everything else. This is where I think it may hinder him a little bit. This is my opinion. I was thinking about this day when I heard the what's called, like, you know what? That may be a bad thing this time. The reason I think it may be a bad thing this time is because I used to text YSM all the time, and I'm like, brother, the building of the fighter is not correct. What I mean by the building of the fighter is not correct. You have to take them at this level, take them this place, do this, experience this. You feel what I'm saying? He should have experienced that discomfort from Canelo at an early age, at a lower scale. That way, he can go back like we did. When we went to Philly, when we went to, I'm on record as saying who was the toughest sparring and what we did about it. This is gonna go right into it. So, people like to say I lie, but all the pieces to the puzzle fit together. We went to Philly. Toughest sparring was Boost the very first time. Second toughest was Jaleel Hackett the very first time. Guess what we did to both of those? We went back. We went back. We corrected some things. We worked on some things, and that's where we stayed at. You feel what I'm saying? So you have Bulls don't have the option to go back now to fix that. I don't think. You feel what I'm saying? Because I think after you broken the first time, it only and this is my son's sparring. It only gets worse the second time and the third time. You feel what I'm saying? It only gets worse. Once you get broken that one time, or whatever else about a high level like Canelo, unless you got something else to bring to the table, it only gets worse unless you got something else to bring. He's 28 years old. Is he getting stronger? He's 28 years old. He the biggest he ever been. You feel what I'm saying? Like, can he take those punches that he gave him at 154? We don't know. I think that kind of stuff need to be done at a lower level where you can go different places, spar different people, and get the sparring work that you need. Now everything's gonna be scrutinized, criticized, and he's gonna be growing in the public eye exactly like I told y'all in the world a long time ago. He's going to get scrutinized bad in the public eye for everything he do.
So when you say like he should have came back, what do you mean by that? Like I know Hernandez said something about that. Boots was going to a press conference, that's why he had to leave early. Like, are you referring to that as far as he should have probably stayed, the whole camp?
You really want me to answer that?
I mean,
What press conference did Boots go to? Have we seen it?
I haven't seen it. No, I haven't got the email either.
In other words, Boots, it got hot in the kitchen, like I told you it happens, and he got the hell out of the kitchen. What press conference you have to go home and get ready for? We don't even know when this press conference is. We haven't seen this press conference. The press conference with Devin Haney and Brian Norman Jr. was told to us 2 days before we left. 2 days. It don't take long to go to a press conference. Do we got to prepare a speech? Do we have to get our clothes out, lay them on the bed? Do we have to go pick some shoes and some outfits, some shit? You don't have to get ready to go to a press conference, brother. It's bullshit. It got hot in the kitchen. He told what happened without telling what happened. He told them he had to go to a press conference. The press conference still haven't been had. He didn't have to go to no damn press conference. It is what it is.
Hmm.
Other people may not see through the bullshit, but I see through the bullshit. But like I said, I think the issue is going to be he has to work on. I think he's gonna mentally remember that. I'm to my boots. He's gonna mentally remember that. He's gonna mentally know he's not where he thought he was. He's gonna know that because he went there because he thought he was. And he wanted to test it against the best. So mentally now he knows he's not where he thought he was because he thought he was among the best. So now the question is, who do he get? What does he do? Where does he go to get this work to get him to that level with the level he's already perceived to be on? You feel me? Like you can't go be nobody else sparring partner. You can't, like, who do you go get? Where do you go? You feel what I'm saying? So now that thought is going to always be there when you get in there in the ring with certain people and you feel this and you feel that. It's going to always be there. So again, like I said, I told old boy a long time ago, he didn't come up right. They made a mistake and they did him an injustice by giving him all of those eye test titles and all of this, this built-in fame and built without him actually doing anything to earn it yet. It did him injustice instead of justice. And he bought
And
into
then,
his own Kool-Aid. He bought into his own Kool-Aid. He went to Canelo, and Canelo let him know, no, son, you're not ready yet.
yeah, and then also Hernandez said that they had to send somebody else home early. Uh, Canelo packed somebody up early. The first guy
So
that came in. Yeah.
yeah, so it
So we see
happens,
that
man.
Canelo's definitely in shape.